Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. I am Koala and I am a shamanic practitioner, mainly within the Nordic shamanism, but I'm also initiated into the Nustokarpa and the Munaki rites. And this is my little nook in this end of the universe that we call YouTube. So welcome to my channel, welcome to this series, and this is the last, for now at least, installment in this series or episode in this series that is about my spiritual journey as a trans man, because with this video I will take us up to date. So I don't know if it's going to be a little longer than the others or if it's going to be very short, but it's going to take us up to date. So I'm just going to jump into it. So in the last video I talked about the summer and fall of 2023. And now we're into the winter of 23-24, so like the we're past the New Year's. That's where I'm gonna jump in. So during this, I'm gonna jump forward actually to February of 2024. And that is when I met up with a couple of friends and celebrated something we call in Sweden Disablot. I even said that weird, Disablot. And blot means like it's a kind of, it's a celebration, but blot in itself means like offering. So we offer food and things to the gods, basically. And the gods that we offer our gratitude to and other things to this celebration is Diser. I don't know the English word for that, but one of them is Freya, and then there are a lot of other goddesses mostly that falls under that umbrella. But this is also, or Disa is also, a concept of some, I would say you could probably call them a bit of fairy folk, because you know when you're outside and there are like parts in the woods, you know, where there are no trees. I don't know what that is, what the word is in English. So there's parts of the woods where there are no trees, where we can see this mist and it's like shimmering and dancing, and that is what we call these nature spirits are dancing in the mist. And that happens, this phenomena is very prominent in this early time of year in February, where we celebrate a blot, or like a celebration of offering to these spirits basically. But we also have the concept of some of our Nordic and Norse goddesses being Diser, and so it's like they can come down with and hide in the mist and dance in the mist, and we can meet them there. So we work with these nature spirits and these goddesses this time of year. I'm gonna get into that a little bit more in another type of video, maybe next year when this time comes around, to get deeper into what that means and what that is and how we celebrate that. But so basically what I'm gonna talk about today is that I met up with a couple of friends to celebrate this. And this is also the time of year where I bring forth my mind map that I always make around the winter solstice. So for the winter solstice of 2023, I made a mind map of things that are important to me that I want to bring into my life in 2024. Okay. So a couple of years ago now. And then I let that rest for a couple of months, and then around this time of year, Disablot in February, around Imbolc for the people that celebrate the Wiccan holidays, or the Wiccan Sabbath, is that the word? So this time of year I bring forth my mind map, and I see what I want to make into seeds to plant for the spring equinox. So it's basically taking out this mind map of what's important to me, and then thinking about going into meditation and thinking about what I really want And what something that was important for this time of year in 2024 specifically was that there was also like a moon cycle where a lot of astrologers said that now is the time to plan 2 years ahead. So me and my friends sat down and made basically new mind maps with long-term plans for 2 years ahead. So basically for all of 2024, 2025. So that was really important to me, to sit down and do that. And it was really fun to do it with friends, and we took some time to open sacred space, to get into our mind maps, but we also discussed it between us, what we wanted to bring in, what we wanted to really do, and how we should phrase it, because intention is really, really important, as you probably know if you work with planting seeds and you know, the wheel of the year in any capacity. So one of the things that I put on my my 2-year plan was the top surgery, but not just my top surgery, but like my transition overall, and some I made it so that I had some like milestones on there that I really wanted to achieve during this time, and then I put some other things on there. Patreon was actually on that. Patreon was actually on that mind map. I don't have it right here right now, but I remember that I put Patreon on there, and I also had my driver's license on there. But at this time, in February of 2024, I made this lovely mind map, and it was really cute and beautiful, and it's fun to be a bit creative when you're setting intentions. So I set the intentions, but I didn't really plant the seeds until the spring equinox. So for the spring equinox of last year, 2024, I met up with one of those friends again here at my house, and we lit candles in the shapes of eggs because that's what I had found. or maybe she... No, I bought them. Yeah, I bought them. I had found these very cute egg candles that I wanted us to use, so we picked a few things from this list, from our you know, our intentions, and from February, to really set intentions with planting the seeds by lighting these candles and sending that wish into the universe, and in that way also letting it go a little bit, because some intentions you need to let go of and let the universe work out in your favor, so that whatever happens is the best for you, so you don't try to control it too much. And I also realized that I had some work to do probably within myself before I would be able to actually have the top surgery and that sort of thing. But yeah, so I remember a few things about that, but I'm not gonna I don't want to go too deep into it. So that's kind of what I did in the early spring, and then in the spring of 2024, so last year. And then I just let that be, and for the summer solstice I picked it all up again and looked, where am I, what can I do about this. And for all of last year I focused very much on my driver's license, because I was aware that I couldn't really do anything about my top surgery at the time, because of the waiting list and because of my financial situation and that sort of thing, if I wanted to go the private route. So I focused on the thing that I could focus on, and that was driving lessons and that sort of thing. So that is what I really put my mind to last year. So I did some inner work in that year, because as soon as I had set those intentions, and all of the summer when I did my when I took driving lessons, and I was out driving a lot with my cousin, there were so many things coming to the surface And one of those things was that I took immense responsibility for holding space for other people. And I had, like a year or so earlier, met myself in a meditation, and where I had looked over my relationships, and I had it was like, oh, here's that person, outside of me, so I don't need to worry about that person. That person is here, outside of me. I don't need to worry about that person. I could see them, kind of like I was in the dream time, and I could see these individuals as balls of energy, and see the proximity to me, and which is a really good technique when you wanna, decide if you wanna cut cords, or if you how you're gonna handle different relationships, because all of these energies have different. If you, I can see with when I see the energies, I can know if that person, how that person relates to me. So when I did that a while back, I had one person in my life that I'm not gonna name, and I'm not gonna go very much into, but I can say that the person has to do with my paternal line. This person was someone that I had agreed, I had agreed with myself that it was okay for me to hold space for this person, because I knew that they needed to heal, I knew that they needed me, and I was open to that, and that was fine with me at that time. But now I went through a period of time where I realized that this weighed really heavy on me, holding space for this person, and I realized that it's not the way it should be. This person shouldn't rely on me this much, and I shouldn't be as open to this, because it really drained me of energy, and it hindered my own progress with the healing that I wanted to do, especially with the paternal line. So what I did there was I did a lot of work, ancestral work, with both my maternal and my paternal lines during 2024. I focused a lot on that spiritually. So while I practically practiced driving, I also, like the spiritual side of my life was very focused on this side of ancestral healing. And one of those reasons is because not everyone in my family has a driver's license, and I had always had a view of myself as maybe not needing a driver's license, and also not being maybe able to get one, because I just had a view of myself as not a person that could learn how to drive, and I understood that it didn't have to do with me. So when I went into that deeper, I realized that this doesn't have to do with me. This is some generational crap that I'm carrying, and it had to do with this that I was holding on to, this person that I held space for. So I did a lot of that kind of work within myself, ancestral healing and generational, working on altering patterns and breaking patterns, and seeing the patterns that had shaped me as a person, as the person I was at that time. And I was, seeing the whole picture, and deciding what I want to keep moving forward, and what I don't want to keep, and how I should handle all of that. And this culminated in early December of 2024, when I held a ceremony where I really let go of the responsibility to hold space for this person, and basically everyone in that line. That was the last ceremony I did at the time, to really manifest changes that I had made to how I viewed my paternal line, and how I viewed myself with that lens. And because I was now trying to grow into the man that I am, and I wanted to do that in you know, I wanted good role models, and I saw the role models from my paternal lines that weren't that good and didn't hold characteristics or didn't hold things that I wanted to encompass or, you know, embrace. So I was deciding what I wanted to embrace and what I wanted to let go as I became the man that I am. And so it, as I said, it all culminated in this ceremony that I held at the beginning of December, which held a specific significance to me. I think it was the full moon. No, it was the dark moon of December in 2024 when I held this ceremony where I let go of the responsibility of this person's well-being and holding space for that, and I returned everything that was theirs to them. So I let go of my responsibility for it, because that it was something I had taken on, and I had accepted that, and I was done doing that. You know, I had come too far. So for this ceremony that took place during a dark moon of December 2024, I used a combination of techniques from my Norse practice, and I incorporated light language. And most often when I incorporate light language into my ceremonies that I do for myself, I rarely plan it. If it's needed, it comes forward, and I use it as any other tool. Kind of like when I've talked about you know, utilizing cacao in ceremonies as an enhancer, or, you know, as a part of a ceremony, but not as the core of the ceremony. And it's the same way with light language. When I started to work with light language to get to know light language and the light language within me, I focused on doing that intentionally. And now I still do it intentionally sometimes when I decide to, or when I use it. Yeah, there definitely are, you know, instances where I do it for me or other people, use it intentionally. But I'm also always open, especially when I hold ceremonies or healing sessions for my own benefit. I'm always open to whatever I need to come forward. So that's what happened during this ceremony. In combination of, as a tool among others, light language came forth and helped me with this. So this was very, very successful. One of the things that had been connected to this line, and that was opening up for me after this had been done, was that just a week after, I actually reached a place where I was so I felt so depressed that I was like, now it's kind of life or death for me. It's life or death. I really need to do this top surgery, or you know, I want to know that it's a possibility soon, because I can't live like this. So the first week after doing that ceremony, I was expecting, you know, symptoms of it. I was expecting challenges. I always do that when I let go of something. I was expecting grief maybe, and you know, to not have that so close, this energy that I've always had on my shoulder in a way. I was expecting something from it. What I didn't expect was to feel so crappy. I felt like I don't want to go on. I could also see that it had to do with this aspect of my transition, that this was the most important thing for me to be able to walk forward in life. So I came to a place where I actually needed to ask for help, and the amazing thing is that I did. So within a week and a half from holding this ceremony for myself, I actually asked for help, and it was very successful in a way that I got the help that I needed, that I craved. So I could get a consultation for the surgery at a private clinic. So it was like a first step forward. So by asking for help, and it was mainly how can I do this financially, because I need it now. I can't be on this waiting list forever and not have anything happen. I need to make this happen for myself. So what can I do? And I asked for help, and help came, and it was amazing. So that is how I came to a place where I could get my top surgery. And I'm not gonna go into, you know, my personal process of that all clicking, but I can tell you as much as when the full moon came around, I had my consultation. So that was so amazing, actually, that I had my consultation 2 weeks after I had held this ceremony of letting go of responsibility for other people, and really healing a lot of my paternal line. Also my maternal line, because with paternal line I don't only mean like my dad's side of the family, I also mean like my granddads and great granddads on my mother's side. And when I talk about maternal line, I also talk about, you know, the women on my father's side. So, you know, a lot of that like ancestral healing overall. So letting go of responsibility, like really stepping into my own person and taking responsibility for my own well-being first. And when I did that, it was like when I had let go of responsibility for other people's well-being, I could see myself, but also I had to feel. So that's what happened. That's why I felt so crappy, because I finally had nothing inside of my own bubble than myself. And it was shitty to be me, and to realize that this is how I'm feeling. Well, can't have this. So, and it was really, yeah, it was really awful. I don't want to go too deep into it, and I don't know how much I can talk about on YouTube, but yeah, it was really a matter of life and death for me. So I had my consultation for my top surgery during the full moon of December that year, and then I had a month to decide if I was gonna do the surgery that we talked about during the consultation. So basically, what you get when you enter a private clinic here in Sweden and you get a consultation, this clinic does free consultations, and then they give you, you know, they examine you and they give you all the details, and then they give you a price for the surgery, and you have a month to decide and still have that same price to the surgery. So and I managed to finalize everything within that period of time, so that I could book my top surgery, and I booked it for March of this year, 2025. So I had my surgery on March 6th, 2025, and that was, when I'm recording this, it was a little over 6 months ago, because it is Thursday today, and Monday last week, on the 8th of September, I had my final callback with the surgeon to look at the healing, how the scars had healed, etc. So yeah, so this year has been all about that, basically, when it comes to my transition, which is the topic of this series. So this series is the spiritual journey of a trans man, and so yeah, the first 3 months of this year were all about that. I was so deep into that, and that's kind of when I needed to put a pause on a lot of other things. And so for my winter solstice celebration last year, when I did, you know, when I do the mind map of what is important for the coming year, and then I set intentions during February and all of that, that is when I decided a priority list. And it was like, I realized I need this for life, you know. I need this to be able to live. And this is when I have that. This is what I need to have quality of life. And this is what I need to move forward with my life and build on that. And then there's all of these things, you know, around that is just part of life, and all of what I've been through has been healing for me. And I want to end this series by just talking a little bit briefly about how I felt during my top surgery, because I had a lot of questions afterwards from other spiritual people and also trans people, that how did you feel when you woke up? Have you had to do a lot of healing after you had removed this tissue? And my answer to that is no. When I woke up, I felt so relieved. I felt like I was finally where I wanted to be, and I felt like the physical manifestation of my inner process up to that point needed surgical hands. You know, there was no way I could remove what I wanted removed in any other way. So I really welcomed this into my life, and I have met the most incredible people along the way. I'm so happy with my surgeon. He really felt like a gift from the heavens. He really felt like the right person in the right place, and he's been the whole team. And I am aware that it's a private clinic, so they are paid to be service-minded and have bedside manners. But people are different anyway. But I'm really happy with all of the people I met along the way and that took care of me during this process. And I would really recommend them to anyone else that needed this as well. So when I woke up, the surgery for me was the final thing that I needed for this part of my transition. I was ready. I was really, really ready, and I was ready to embrace it. I was ready to put my life almost in the hands of someone else. And I also mean, there's always risk to surgery. So when you put yourself on that table, you put yourself your life in someone else's hands. And I was ready to do that. I was ready to put the trust in someone else for giving me the results that I wanted. And when I woke up, I was just so happy, and I have been happy ever since. So it was really what I needed to move forward. So today with my transition, I'm gonna really end with that. So today with my transition, I'm still healing from the top surgery. I really have worked with and felt the implications, the repercussions and effects of that, not just physically, but also how I am met when people see me, and how it is to be seen as a man when I walk outside by men, women, children. It's been a journey in a lot of ways, on all levels of life. It's been a journey, and it's an ongoing journey. So right now I am trying to just live life with this body that I love as it is right now. Of course there are parts that I am less content with, because it's not the body that I would have wanted to be born into. Other than that, I'm just trying to live life, and allow myself to feel good, and allow myself to build upon this, and prioritize the next thing on my priority list, and just move forward. So that's where I am right now, and that's the good note that I want to end this series with. And yeah, so follow, give me a follow, like and subscribe if you want to know more about my journey. And if I get questions that requires a video to talk about topics, then I will do that. For now, this is the end of this series. So that's kind of where we're at, guys. And so this is the 8th and last installment in this series for now, and next up is something completely new. So, well, next week I'm gonna talk about the goddess Hel in the Nordic tradition that we celebrate in October. And then after that we're going into October's topic, which is gonna be mental health from a shamanic perspective. So it's more shamanic perspective videos for another month, but we're focusing on mental health. And yeah, if you want to know more about that, you can become a member on my Patreon, where I by this time when you see this, there will be a schedule for my YouTube and Patreon content for October up on that platform. So become a member there and you will see that. So all free members and all paying members will be able to see the schedule for it. And then there's a couple of videos that only paying members will be able to access during October. And it's also on my Patreon, on my community chat, where you can ask questions that pertain to the topic of the month, like mental health from a shamanic perspective. So if you have questions around that, when you see a video, or just generally, or personally, then you can go into the chat and ask about that and ask questions there. So that you have to be a member for, and I think it's a matter of making it a safe space to have that behind a paywall. So I will see you soon. Walk in beauty with yourself first and foremost. Xingling.